Chapter 2, School Adventures. Mia had been looking forward to the first day of term for weeks. The summer holiday had been fun, but she missed her friends, especially her best mate, Sam. They had plans to sit together at lunch, share their new pencil cases, and compare their summer adventures. But as she walked into her classroom on that bright Monday morning, she noticed a new face among the familiar ones. The classroom buzzed with excitement as children chattered and settled into their seats. Mia spotted Sam near the back, waving eagerly. She made her way over, feeling a flutter of excitement in her stomach. But as she passed by the new boy, she couldn't help but give him a curious glance. He was tall for his age, with messy brown hair and big glasses that slid down his nose. He looked a bit nervous, fiddling with the strap of his backpack as he scanned the room. "Who's that?" Mia asked Sam, nodding towards the boy. "Dunno," Sam shrugged. "Maybe he's new. Poor thing looks a bit lost, doesn't he?" Mia frowned. She remembered her first day at the school when everything felt overwhelming. The teachers, the new faces, the strange sounds of laughter and chatter. She knew how hard it could be to feel like an outsider. Their teacher, Miss Harper, clapped her hands to get everyone's attention. "Right, everyone, settle down, please. We have a lot to cover this term. But first, I'd like to introduce our new classmate. This is Oliver. He's just moved here from London, and I hope you'll all make him feel very welcome." Mia watched as Oliver's cheeks turned a bright shade of pink. He gave a small wave, but his eyes darted to the ground. Miss Harper continued, "Oliver will sit at the front with Mia. Mia, why don't you show him around during break time?" "Sure," Mia said, surprising even herself with her enthusiasm. As the morning lessons began, Mia made an effort to include Oliver. She shared her crayons during art class and helped him with his math work. It turned out that he was quite good with numbers, much better than Mia, who often struggled with sums. They quickly discovered that they both loved football, and Mia felt a spark of connection growing between them. At lunch, Mia and Sam invited Oliver to sit with them. He hesitated for a moment before joining them at their table, his lunchbox clutched tightly in his hands. Mia had packed a sandwich with ham and cheese, a few crisps, and a chocolate biscuit. She watched as Oliver opened his lunchbox to reveal a beautifully wrapped homemade sushi roll. "Wow, that looks different," Sam exclaimed, leaning in closer. "Is that sushi?" Oliver nodded, his eyes brightening a little. "Yeah, my mum makes it. I used to eat it all the time in London. Do you want to try some?" Mia's curiosity piqued. "Can I?" she asked, reaching out for a piece. Oliver smiled shyly and offered her a small slice. "It's really nice. Just don't mind the seaweed." Mia took a bite and was surprised by how much she liked it. "It's delicious. I've never had anything like this before. My mum usually makes boring sandwiches." Oliver chuckled, a sound that was starting to make Mia feel more at ease. They continued to share stories about their summer holidays. Mia talked about her trip to the seaside, while Oliver shared tales of visiting his grandparents in London and exploring the city's parks. After lunch, Miss Harper announced that they would be working on a group project. Mia felt her heart race at the thought of teaming up with Oliver, but she also felt a sense of responsibility to help him feel included. The project was about the local community, and Mia had an idea. "Let's go to the park near my house after school. We can take photos and ask people about their favorite places," she suggested. Oliver nodded eagerly, his cheeks lighting up. That would be great. I'd love to see your park." As the afternoon wore on, Mia felt a sense of pride swell within her. She had taken the first step to befriending someone who seemed a bit shy and uncertain. By the time the school day ended, Mia felt that Oliver had become part of their little group. When the final bell rang, Mia and Sam waited for Oliver outside the classroom. "Ready to go?" Sam asked, and Oliver nodded, a smile breaking across his face. "Let's find some interesting things to take photos of," Mia said, leading the way. They walked to the park, chatting and laughing along the way. Oliver seemed to relax more with each step. At the park, they discovered a small pond where ducks waddled around looking for crumbs. Mia took out her phone and snapped pictures of the ducks as they quacked and splashed. Oliver joined in, capturing the moment with enthusiasm. "Look, the little ducklings are so cute," he exclaimed, pointing at a group of fluffy yellow ducklings paddling closely behind their mother. As they continued exploring, Mia felt a warm glow inside. She was proud of herself for reaching out to Oliver and helping him feel welcome. They shared their thoughts about the park and took turns taking silly selfies with the ducks in the background. Later, as they sat on a bench enjoying ice creams from the local shop, Mia glanced at Oliver. "I'm really glad you're in our class. It's nice to have someone new around." "Thanks, Mia," Oliver replied, his voice soft but sincere. "It's been a bit scary starting here, but you've made it better." Mia smiled, knowing that friendships could blossom in unexpected places. They sat together, enjoying their ice creams as the sun began to set, and Mia thought about how a simple act of kindness could turn a nervous first day into an exciting new adventure. The sun peeked through the curtains of Ella's bedroom, casting a warm glow across her wall. She stretched her arms wide, feeling the energy of a new day bubbling inside her. Today was the day of the annual school art competition, and she was buzzing with excitement. After weeks of planning, sketching, and painting, her masterpiece would finally be unveiled. Ella bounded down the stairs, where the smell of toast and jam wafted through the air. Her little brother, Jamie, was sitting at the table, covered in sticky fingers and crumbs. "Morning, Ella," he chirped, grinning up at her. Ella ruffled his hair affectionately, then poured herself a glass of orange juice. "Are you ready for the big day?" Mum asked, flipping a piece of toast onto a plate. "I can't wait to see what everyone has created." "Your dad's taking you to school early, right?" "Yeah, I want to get there before everyone else so I can set up my painting," Ella replied, her heart racing at the thought. She had spent countless hours working on her piece, a vibrant landscape of rolling hills and a bright blue sky, dotted with fluffy white clouds. After breakfast, Ella dashed back upstairs to double-check her supplies. She had neatly rolled up her painting, careful to protect it from any creases or smudges. With her paintbrushes and a set of extra colors tucked into her backpack, she felt ready for anything. When Dad pulled up outside the school, Ella felt a rush of nerves. The school gates were adorned with colorful bunting, and the sound of excited chatter filled the air. As they walked towards the entrance, Ella spotted posters announcing the competition, each one decorated with colorful drawings and cheerful phrases like "Let your imagination shine." "Good luck, Ella," Dad said, giving her a reassuring pat on the back. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. The school hall was transformed into a gallery, with tables draped in white cloths and artworks displayed all around. Her heart raced as she walked through the rows of mesmerizing pieces. Ella found her designated table and carefully unrolled her painting. She placed it in the center, making sure it was straight and unwrinkled. As she stepped back to admire her work, she felt a wave of pride wash over her. It looked just as she had imagined, filled with bright colors and a sense of joy. Just as she was admiring her painting, Ella heard a familiar voice. It was her best friend, Mia, who was carrying her own artwork, a stunning painting of a city skyline at dusk. "Wow, Ella, your painting is amazing," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "Thanks. I love yours too. The colors are so pretty," Ella replied, feeling a surge of confidence. They both beamed at each other, sharing a moment of excitement. They knew how hard they had worked, And now it was time to showcase their creativity. As the time ticked closer to the announcement of the winners, more students arrived, each with their own unique creations. There were sculptures made from recycled materials, intricate drawings, and even a giant paper-make dragon. Ella felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety. What if someone else's work was better? Don't worry, Ella. Everyone has put in so much effort, Mia said, noticing the worried look on her friend's face. Just remember, it's about having fun and expressing ourselves. Before long, the head teacher, Mrs. Thompson, stepped up to the front of the hall, her kind smile instantly calming the room. Welcome, everyone, to our annual art competition. You've all done a wonderful job, and I'm so proud of each one of you, she announced, her voice warm and encouraging. As she spoke, Ella's heart thumped in her chest. She could hardly believe how many students had participated. Mrs. Thompson continued, we will begin by awarding prizes for different categories. First, let's start with the Best Use of Color award. Ella held her breath, her fingers crossed tightly. The room filled with applause as a boy named Sam, known for his bright and bold style, was declared the winner. Ella clapped along, genuinely impressed. Next, Mrs. Thompson announced the winner for Most Creative, and Ella's palms grew sweaty. And the winner is, Mrs. Thompson paused for dramatic effect, Mia Johnson. Ella erupted into cheers, her heart swelling with pride for her friend. Mia jumped up, her face beaming with happiness. They exchanged a quick glance, full of encouragement. As the awards continued, Ella felt her nerves begin to fade. The atmosphere was joyful, filled with laughter and applause as more students were recognized for their hard work. Finally, the time came for the overall winner to be announced. Ella could hardly keep still in her seat. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Mrs. Thompson declared, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. The overall winner of this year's art competition is Ella Green. Time seemed to freeze as Ella's name echoed around the hall. She felt a tidal wave of emotions, disbelief, joy, and pride all at once. She stood up, her legs feeling like jelly, and made her way to the front of the hall. The applause was deafening, and Ella could see her family and friends smiling brightly, cheering her on. Mrs. Thompson handed her a shiny trophy, and in that moment, Ella felt like she was on top of the world. Congratulations, Ella, Mia shouted, rushing up to give her a hug. I knew you could do it. As Ella stood there, trophy in hand, she realized it wasn't just about winning. It was about the journey, the late nights spent painting, the laughter shared with friends, and the support from her family. She felt grateful for the experience and excited to continue creating art that spoke to her heart. The day ended on a high note, with laughter and chatter filling the hall as students celebrated each other's work. Ella couldn't wait to get home and paint some more, inspired by the creativity she had witnessed. Today had been more than just a competition. It had been a true celebration of imagination and friendship. Lunchtime at Willow Grove Primary School was always a lively affair. The sound of laughter mixed with the clatter of lunchboxes being opened echoed through the busy dining hall. Children buzzed with excitement, swapping sandwiches and sharing stories about their morning lessons. Jake, a slightly shy boy with messy brown hair, always felt a bit nervous when it came to lunchtime. He loved spending time with his friends but sometimes found himself in tricky situations. On this particular Wednesday, Jake was looking forward to lunch more than usual. He had brought a special treat from home, his mum's famous cheese and tomato sandwiches, along with a packet of crisps and a small chocolate biscuit for dessert. He imagined sitting with his best friends, Sam and Mia, and sharing the latest gossip from their class. Today, however, was going to be different. As Jake made his way to the dining hall, he spotted Sam and Mia at their usual table, animatedly discussing something that made them giggle. Jake felt a flutter of excitement in his stomach. He hurried over, waving as he approached. "Hey, Jake," Mia said, her eyes sparkling. "You'll never guess what happened in maths today." Jake plopped down on the bench, eager to hear the story. "I'm all ears. What happened?" Before Mia could answer, a loud crash interrupted them. Two older boys, Charlie and Liam, were having a rather boisterous argument at the next table. They were pushing their trays away, and Liam's drink, an orange juice, slipped from his hand and spilled all over Charlie's lunch. The noise drew the attention of everyone in the hall, and Jake felt a wave of discomfort wash over him. He didn't like conflict, especially when it involved shouting and mess. "Ooh, look what you've done," Charlie exclaimed glaring at Liam. "You've ruined my lunch. It's not my fault. You were the one waving your arms around." Liam shot back, his face turning red. Jake glanced at Sam and Mia, unsure of what to do. They were both watching the scene unfold, their faces a mix of concern and curiosity. "What should we do?" Sam whispered, leaning closer to Jake. Before Jake could respond, the head teacher, Mrs. Thompson, walked over, a stern look on her face. Now, boys, what's all this fuss about?" Charlie crossed his arms, still fuming. "He spilled juice all over my sandwich." Liam looked sheepish but quickly retorted, "It was an accident." Mrs. Thompson sighed. "Accidents happen, but it's important to keep calm. Let's clean this up and talk about how we can solve this. No need for shouting." Jake watched as the headteacher guided the boys to the side, where they began to clean the mess. He admired how Mrs. Thompson managed to take control without raising her voice. "Do you think they'll get into trouble?" Mia asked, glancing nervously at the two boys. "Maybe," Jake replied, feeling a little guilty for secretly hoping they would. "But I think they just need to apologize to each other." "Yeah, I think so too," Sam agreed, nodding. As the chaos settled, Jake noticed a small group of children nearby who had been watching the argument. Among them was his classmate, Emily, who looked particularly upset. She had been sitting alone, her food untouched. Jake felt a tug at his heart. He remembered how Emily had always been nice to him, even when he felt shy. "Hey, do you want to sit with us?" Jake called out to her. Emily looked surprised but then smiled gratefully. "Really? Thanks." She hurried over and squeezed onto the bench beside Jake, her lunchbox clutched in her hands. "What did you bring?" Mia asked, always eager to chat about food. Emily opened her lunchbox, revealing an array of colorful fruit and a homemade wrap. "My mum made me a chicken wrap and I've got strawberries. Yum. I love strawberries," Sam exclaimed. As they chatted and enjoyed their lunches, Jake felt a sense of relief. It was nice to have Emily there, and it made the lunchtime atmosphere feel warmer and friendlier. He noticed how Emily's smile seemed to brighten the table. Just as they were settling back into their conversation, Charlie and Liam returned from the staff room, looking a bit sheepish. Mrs. Thompson had given them a talking to, and they seemed to have calmed down. "Sorry about earlier," Charlie said, addressing the whole table. Liam and I didn't mean to cause a scene. Yeah, it was just an accident, Liam added, his tone more apologetic. Jake felt a wave of relief wash over him. It's okay. We all have those days, he replied, trying to keep the mood light. Do you want to join us? Mia asked, her voice friendly. Charlie hesitated but then nodded. Sure, thanks. As the two boys squeezed onto the bench, Jake felt a sense of camaraderie forming. They shared stories and jokes, and the laughter soon drowned out the earlier tension. Emily, who had initially looked shy, found her voice and chimed in with a funny story about her cat, making everyone laugh. Lunchtime flew by, and as the bell rang, signaling the end of their break, Jake felt a warm glow in his heart. They had turned a potentially awkward situation into something much better. As they stood up to leave, Jake realized that sometimes, even when things go wrong, friendships can grow stronger. He exchanged smiles with Emily, Charlie, and Liam, feeling grateful for the new connections formed over sandwiches and laughter. See you all at playtime, Jake called out, his spirits high. As he walked back to class with Sam and Mia, he couldn't help but smile. Lunchtime had turned out to be an adventure after all.